chased us off.
And captured a Cobra officer.
That's part of my plan.
What does Destro mean? Follow the further adventures of G.I. Joe in Marvel Comics.
Yo Joes, welcome to another classic Marvel G.I. Joe comic review. Taking a look at another 5 issues of G.I. Joe, and very lucky to be actually leafing through real printed copies of these, thanks to a very, very good brother, a very generous friend. Jason, thank you once again for sharing these, not just with me, but with all the Joe fans watching this channel. Very greatly appreciated. Sorry it's taken so long to get back to these G.I. Joe comics. I have been reading them since the last video that I did. I haven't just completely dropped it. I've just been enjoying these in my leisure time while I've been working on all of the other different videos. Having a lot of fun with Transformers and He-Man and Mask, but my heart will always lie with G.I. Joe, not just because of the awesome toys and the awesome stories too. Nothing rivals Larry Hama's G.I. Joe comic stories, but also the awesome people as well. So many really, really good human beings who also call G.I. Joe their number one for their fandom. So really enjoy going through these, and enjoy going through them with you, reading all the comments and thoughts about these comic books. So let's take a look at the next 5 issues of the Marvel G.I. Joe comic, leafing through actual printed copies of them. I wish you could smell it. I can smell it right through the bag. It smells amazing. But let's take a look at the stories, as well as the interesting little details from starting October 1983 is when the first one was released. Starting off with issue number 16, and features the battle that will ensue later on in the comic book with Colonel Hawk, not General yet, and Destro with that no good, lousy back shooter Cobra Commander watching on. Sometimes the covers of these G.I. Joe comics are misleading, and what's on the cover doesn't actually happen in the issue, but it's really cool when it actually does happen and you have a nicer rendition of something that happens in the comic. Old Cracker Jack ad. The issue starts off with the Joes doing some training. They're testing out some of the old equipment, and they've also got some of the new equipment. We've got the old APC, and the Wolverine makes its debut with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 missiles on it. Wink, wink. And it's also got 12 as well. We've got some more ads. I love the old ads. It's so awesome to see these old ads I haven't seen for such a long time. There's CoverGirl looking like the figure actually looks. I love the introduction of Tripwire. He's a klutz. The mine defusal guy, bomb defusal guy, is a klutz, and he almost blows everyone to smithereens, if not for Rock and Roll's quick reflexes. Awesome scene right here with the Cobras, and they're all glad-handing each other, but then you get to actually read their thoughts, and really awesome dialogue right here. Very witty what each one is thinking. They're all treacherous, just looking to betray each other. Good old General Flag is there. Hawk is asking Flag for a regiment to be deployed to defend against Cobra, and here comes the Cobra attack, but it's actually a ploy. These are all miniatures, which you can't really tell from a distance. Here's one of the silliest parts I've seen in the comic so far. It's not 100% gold, but I'm sure there was nothing they could do about it. Torpedo shows up with some of the other new Joes in full Frogman outfit, with flippers, no less, and the mask, the regulator. There's no reason he should be wearing that, and there's no water around, but I'm sure they were told, you got to make him look like his toy. You would have thought since the flippers were removable on the figure, he could have at least left the flippers off, but that's one of those, what are you going to do? It is such a great story, but it was based on a toy line, and sometimes the toy line aspect of it came to the front of that. Here's where the Joes actually discover that these are miniatures. Nice ploy by Cobra. Some bubble yum right there. And the hiss tanks are deployed. We get to see some hiss tanks rolling around. Everybody's trying to get this guy right here, Scarface, one of the original characters created by Larry Hama, who never got a toy in the Real American Hero run. So, oh, I love this ad for the Atari G.I. Joe video game. Don't like the game all that much, but the ad is just so awesome. So one of the ways that Larry Hama got around being able to kill people was, since he couldn't kill characters that were actually based on figures, he was allowed to make his own original characters and kill them off. And boy, does he. A couple issues down the road. Lots of action going on here. Not afraid to smash up a brand new, newly debuted toy right here. There's the Wolverine getting smashed by Hiss Tank. Destro is lost in deep thought, still thinking that the Baroness has perished. And this is just such an awesome scene right here. Colonel Hawk flying out of a vamp, jumping onto a Hiss Tank. We never really got to see that in the cartoon. And we never really got to see that in the comic either. This is one of the few times Colonel Hawk is an actual man of action, punching out Chrome Dome. Oh man, I just love that so much. And then throwing the fisticuffs with Destro. Awesome fight between the two of them. More ads, which lets you savor it. And final page of this issue is Cobra Commander shooting Hawk in the back. Thump, hits the ground, and is he dead? Cliffhanger ending, while Scarface escapes. And there's an aggressive pickle. Burger Time, my favorite arcade game. Up next is issue number 17, and we get a sneak peek at what's to come. Poor pedestrian crying on the bus. Major Blood is fighting off Grand Slam, the man who knows how to make people look different. Loose Ends is the title of this one, and we've got Scarlet and Clutch tending to a mortally wounded Colonel Hawk, and we're told very quickly he's actually going to be fine. He was wearing a bulletproof vest, a very, very high-graded one, but I like the realism that's included in the sense that they say, well, he's in a world of hurt. It stopped the bullet from actually breaking the skin, but he's got some serious internal damage from being shot in the back, so he's not out of the woods yet. And the Joes are sitting there stewing, gung-ho, not the right time to be testing his patience. He destroys a car with his bare hands. And they're going to airlift Hawk to safety. So weird, because we're so used to the later years of G.I. Joe where they've got the Tomahawk, even the Hercules cargo plane. But at this point, they had very little equipment. They had a Mobat, they had a Vamp, and they have a Dragonfly. So they're actually strapping Hawk to the landing thing of the Dragonfly. And it's just weird to see a Joe lifted, medevaced that way. Not very comfortable, kind of windy. They got an APC there too. And the Sky Striker with Ace. And I guess they were really adhering to the figure designs because he's wearing that helmet instead of the regular flight helmet with mask that he had on the cartoon. Some more drama going on with the Cobras. And Ace is the eye in the sky here. We go back to Snake Eyes and Quinn, who are cooling their heels in jail. And both of them have a plan for escape. Quinn's got one of those Escape from Alcatraz style fake heels in his shoe. He's going to saw his way out. Snake Eyes doesn't have something as useful at the moment. He's got a, $100 bill stuck in his arm. But that does come in useful later on. But that just, Snake Eyes, man of mystery, dangerous, but also quirky. That's what I really love about Larry Hama's Snake Eyes. Quirky. Why would he have that in his shirt? I don't know. Sometimes Snake Eyes makes it a habit of knowing more than we do. The race to find Scarface is on because he's carrying a virus that will eradicate the entire planet. Here's a scene where that money comes in handy. Snake Eyes and Quinn stumble upon some guys throwing dice, playing a game of dice, and wouldn't you know it, they're playing Snake Eyes. That's the goal. So we know Snake Eyes is going to do fairly well. Pursuit ensues. Sky Striker. So cool that there's just one Sky Striker, not an entire fleet. Got a Popeye ad right here. And more great action. After the last issue had some great action, we've got some more great action here with a guy who didn't get to do much in the comics and didn't get to do anything in the cartoon. I don't know if he ever showed up in the cartoon, but it's Grand Slam. So this is pretty much Grand Slam's defining moment right here, jumping off the ram and onto the bus to get Major Blood. And he obliterates Major Blood right here. Just because a figure was new didn't mean he wasn't going to sustain some damage. And Grand Slam sends Major Blood to the hospital. More battle going on. Outside here, the Sky Striker actually gets clipped. Another case of just because it's a brand new toy debuting doesn't mean it's invincible. Ace gets shot in the wing there, and he's got to head home for repairs. Down the road, right here we see the result of the game that Snake Eyes and Quinn were playing. They won the pink Cadillac, and Snake Eyes even took the guy's hat. That's awesome. That quirky sense of humor again, despite being shrouded in darkness. Major Blood taken to the hospital, and they're talking about how bad he's been beaten, but still dangerous. Tries to escape here, and another really awesome scene right here. Colonel Hawk, who is all holed up with injuries as well, has got him. He wouldn't allow them to take his gun away. That's so Colonel Hawk. And then there's a mention of the Baroness. She's still alive. So that's going to have some interesting implications on the relationship between Destro, Cobra Commander, and Major Blood. And this one ends off with just an awesome page of everyone going to Coney Island. All of the different stories are intertwining, and we end off with next issue, Coney Island. So it really builds up to a head for the next issue. Kool-Aid Man ad right there. And remember Return of the Jedi, the video game cartridge. Next is issue number 18, Destro and Cobra Commander spying on the Joes on the cover here. This is the one that I thought was really going to explode because it was building to a head. Everything leads to Coney Island. And it actually turns out this isn't the big explosive issue. It's the next one. APC is taking a sail, since it is amphibious, over to Coney Island. All the Joes are heading down there. They get a note from Snake Eyes saying, "I'll be there." And obviously Scarlet is very emotional upon finding out that Snake Eyes is alive. The Manta, remember that old mail away. Rock and Roll, naturally, is on the Manta with, hey, Torpedo finally has something to do. It's kind of like when Max Ray finds some water. Yay, the water guy has something to do. No Rattlers yet at this point, so they've just got to make something up, kind of like they did on the cartoon. Some roller coaster action going on. There's Scarface still running from everybody. Quinn is such an awesome character. He's just an old-fashioned kind of samurai-style warrior. He's just got this code of honor. He refuses to adhere to the weasel spirit. Such an interesting old-fashioned character in this kind of modern military setting. Destro firing off some rockets here. Hawk looks like he's completely recovered. The action spills out onto a highway. The Joes are in hot pursuit. Destro driving an ice cream truck. I guess you get what you can. And the APC takes a major hit, but all they need to do is just upright it. Not destroyed yet. And NBC Saturday mornings definitely were on the jazz. They had the jazz. We've got a roll call right here. Hawk is sending the whole team, or at least everyone that's available, going in for the hunt to get Scarface. And this guy's really turned into the MacGuffin of the last couple issues. Everybody wants Scarface because of the virus he carries. Hawk's back in action, jumping from vehicle to vehicle. And we've got an all-out battle once again. Just love Colonel Hawk punching people out. You don't get to see it very much. I think even after this issue, it doesn't really happen after that. Wild Bill and Airborne show up. Good to see them in one of the early issues. Another thing I really like about these early issues is they're just so pure. We don't have all of the 80, even 85 and 86 guys in these. It's just the original team plus a couple of the new guys. So cool. And I love seeing a page of O.D. Green back when it was really true to being the military origins. James Bond 007 role-playing game. And once again, we end on a cliffhanger. The Joes are in a sub. They have apprehended Scarface, and they're heading to G.I. Joe headquarters. And that's not a good thing. And number 19 is where it hits the fan. This is a huge issue for G.I. Joe. Unassuming, you wouldn't think issue 19 would be the one where lots of stuff happens and repercussions that are felt for a long time occur. But it is. It's issue 19. Used to love that game on Atari Battlezone. And it starts with the Joes assembling the headquarters, the 1983 G.I. Joe headquarters. In the comics, they call it the Prefab Fortress. So it's interesting that the pit is not that headquarters. It was never intended to be. The headquarters in Larry Hama's mind was just a little thrown together temporary thing. And it wasn't supposed to, you weren't supposed to imagine it being bigger like it was on the cartoon. So they're talking about Scarface here is telling them Cobra's plan, and they're a little skeptical. He's got the antidote for the toxin there. But Hawk actually comes up with this brilliant plan of saying, since they know where we are, let them come to G.I. Joe headquarters. And the plan is to build the prefab fortress on the top of the pit where the motor pool is. And so once they come and attack and obliterate it, they've got to ship out the chaplain's assistants, because that's who's there over top of the pit. They don't know that the pit is underneath them. But once the prefab fortress is destroyed, Hawk was saying, well, Cobra will scratch that location off the map, and they'll never come back here. They'll think they destroyed the Joe base here, and why would Joe ever create another base in the same spot? So the pit can continue being in the basement. Major Blood is being put, not really in a holding cell, he's just being handcuffed to a radiator there. And they've got Dr. Venom over here is with Quinn and Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes starts putting on the snake armor, which is a big mistake, because the snake armor is actually going to be controlled by Dr. Venom and or Snake Eyes and Quinn get put in the snake armor and are controlled. There's the Baroness with all of her burns. There's a really pulse-pounding scene right here where you've got some Joes in the Vamp, and they are being chased by missiles, and they're not sure if they're going to make it. So he's just gunning it, hoping that the prefab fortress is going to be up there in time to go through the door. Kaboom. Some just down to the second timing right there, millisecond. And there it is. The 1983 G.I. Joe headquarters, just as we remember it, like the actual toy. The one on the cartoon was so much bigger. They changed the scale of it and changed kind of the gun of it. But this one is very true to the toy. Looks just like it. So you can, I guess, either pretend for your display that the 83 headquarters is the headquarters from the show and just do some scale tweaking in your mind, or you can pretend it's a little temporary base. The Pack Rats make an appearance, and some more action going on outside. Snake Eyes and Quinn are trying to figure out how to get out of this situation, and Snake Eyes always finds a way to get out of every sticky situation. This is an awesome scene right here. Once Quinn and Snake Eyes, Quinn gets out of the snake armor, he just picks up a pack rat. That's how powerful this guy was. Just picks one up like it's a machine gun. Ace is trying to provide some air support from the sky, as well as Wild Bill up there. And here's where the deaths come. Quinn has made his peace with life, I guess, while Major Blood knocks out Doc and plans his escape. The first death of the issue is Major Blood putting a bullet in General Flag. So one of the non-toy original characters created by Larry Hama bites the dust there. Some Cobra guy getting shot in the back. Everyone's getting shot by Major Blood today. And Quinn has some great dialogue here with Dr. Venom. And he resolves to not kill Dr. Venom. Promise is a promise, and I will not harm you while you live. But the thing is, Quinn has a grenade. And when he falls to the ground dead, since he's been backshot by Dr. Venom, he drops the grenade. So we've got General Flag dying, Quinn dying, and then like 2 seconds later, kaboom, Dr. Venom dying, supposedly. Kaboom. So lots of deaths in this one. The prefab fortress is wiped out. And it's got one of those melancholy, those bittersweet endings where the Joes are all smiling and happy. Job well done. Plan went perfectly. And Hawk is just realizing this was not a major victory because Quinn's necklace and General Flag's dog tags. So after such a big, heavy issue, it's time to go on vacation, which is what Clutch does. And another little teaser, and something similar to this does happen in this issue, although they're not really revealing how he gets out of this. I think they've omitted a detail on here, on this picture, of how he gets out of this situation. Fit for life. So they're going through a training exercise, Clutch and the Joes, and Clutch is ahead of everybody because he's very eager to get through it, finish it up, and get to shore leave. So he runs for the bus, gets to New Jersey. Power Lords. I didn't know there was a Power Lords video game. And he heads home to Jersey. He's picked up by his old buddy in this really wild-looking car. It's a crazy-looking prototype type of car, who runs this big factory, making all of these different cars, and he lets Clutch stay with him. Kind of looks like Prince Adam, actually. And Clutch finds out that this guy is actually, his family is being held by Cobra. So he's having to do Cobra's bidding in order to keep his family safe. The Cobras find out that Clutch is an actual G.I. Joe. So they're going to test this jetpack that his buddy has created. They're going to strap it to Clutch and send him out for a test flight. And probably not expecting him to come back alive with it, but his friend, even though he's trying to keep his family safe, he helps Clutch out by giving him a shop knife while he's giving him a hug goodbye. So Clutch is able to cut himself free while he's flying around and hotwire the thing so that he can keep flying. This is not the scene from the cover. That's to come later on. So Clutch gets out, he gets loose. He's able to eventually call for help after whooping some Cobra butt. And the Joe team arrives as reinforcements and are deployed. Cool to see all the original Joes again, even though the 83 guys are starting to show up. This particular adventure is an 82 adventure. So cool to just see Hawk and the 82 guys there. Clutch is taken off once again. Oh, there is actually an 83 guy airborne on the Falcon glider. So Clutch is flying around. This is really the Clutch issue. He's the one prominently featured in this one. Flying around on the jetpack. And this is where you do get that scene where Clutch is falling. It's not exactly like it was on the cover, but the jetpack does save him. So I guess he's wearing the jetpack there around his waist. You can't see it on his back, but yeah, that's another kind of bait and switch where he is going to be fine. He lands on there, and his buddy's going to be okay. His family's going to be okay. We actually get a nice, happy ending instead of bittersweet for a change. And when he's asked where he's going to spend the rest of his vacation, Clutch says I've had all the relaxation I can stand. So that's issues 16 to 20, and next time out, be taking a look at the next 5 issues, starting with 21, a legendary issue for G.I. Joe fans, Silent Interlude. And if you are a member of the Patreon tribe, you're going to want to check out the Patreon exclusive motion comic that I did for Silent Interlude. That was a fun one. 22, 23. Looks like I'm missing 24. I'll try to track down a printed copy of that one before I do the next video. If not, there's always the digital version. Not quite the same, but the magic is still there, whether it's on a printed page or on a digital one. So I hope you enjoyed this latest review. Feel free to leave a comment, share the video with your fellow G.I. Joe fans. I know Mr. Hama actually saw one of these comic reviews some years back and asked me if he could share it on his own social media, which was an incredible honor to me. So yeah, I hope if he's still watching these, he's enjoying them. He knows how appreciated they are. They're a big reason why Joe fans will most likely never be completely satisfied with any G.I. Joe live action movie unless it really adheres to the source material, because this is a high benchmark. It's a tough act to follow, and all us Joe fans really want is that represented in a different medium, in a live action medium. After you've done that, then you can go and tweak things, change things, mess things around. But to date, it's never really been properly homaged in a live action form. So that's why we keep going back and rereading the comics, because they are that good and they have stood the test of time. So until the next batch of G.I. Joe comic reviews, take care, yo Joe, and Nerdmas Day.